the implications are just staggering. This is digitalization at its best. You can say any big project that's higher than 3 floors or roads longer than 3 kilometers is being built and engineered by the Chinese. So again, look at where the money's going. And the answer is it's very uniquely focused on places like Africa, but not necessarily countries specifically. It's more, what do they need? What are the hopes? What are the aspirations of what's happening here? 2050, Africa's population is slated to double. 80% of that's going to be in cities. Lagos alone, think about this for a second. Lagos alone is growing by 77 people per hour. I mean, think about it. That's just an astounding figure when you start doing the math. Now, the trick is every company you own, regardless of where you own it, should be best in class in market, in product, or it's simply not worth the risk. And that's a very, very significant point, because tomorrow's markets and profits belong to those who dare today. And they belong there regardless of where the company is domiciled. In other words, you can have a company serving this market in Africa that we just talked about, but it may be based in China, or it may be based in Europe, or it may be based in the United States. That's how you do global market today. And finding these companies is not difficult if you know where to start. And my favorite metric for finding the next hot markets is deceptively simple. This is one of those things where you're just going to smack yourself in the forehead and go, "Doop," when I really lay it out for you. Again, first thing you want to do is ask, what are the hopes and aspirations? Who's got them? Which companies can deliver, and where are they going? And then you follow the jets. Specifically, you follow the jets that CEOs are taking. Look who's going where, and you're going to know where the world's money is flowing and how often and which companies to buy. So Airbnb, you got Brian Chesky going to Africa. Satya Nadella of Microsoft going to Africa. Zuckerberg of Facebook going to Africa. Sundar Pichai of Google going to Africa. Jack Ma of Alibaba went there 4 times in a 3-year period. That should tell you something. Sergey Brin, Alphabet, 2018, Jack Dorsey, Twitter, 2019. My point is that even in the midst of all of what's happening, investing can be a very simple process if you understand the hopes and aspirations, and you can identify which companies are going where. These are very significant names, some of the brightest executives on the planet, and they are going to Africa, just as everybody went to China 20 years ago. Now, you can play this game with every market in the world. You can look in Africa, where you've got Jumia Technology, which is traded on the NYSE, for example. You can go to Southeast Asia, Sea Limited, which is traded also on the NYSE. You can go to Mercado Libre in Latin America, which is traded on NASDAQ, or you can be Alibaba going on the NYSE. The key is digital build out, digitalization, and scale. So again, regardless of the actual geographic market, the old-fashioned way of thinking about this is, I want to invest in Thailand, or I want to invest in Africa. I want to invest in South America. And you could pick an ETF that would do that. You could probably pick an ETF that's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if you wanted. These things have gotten so specialized. Or you can go with companies like this that are at scale. You could do it with particular regions. You can do it based on trend, or you can do it based on size. Or you can really go for the companies that are worldwide, Apple, Microsoft, and Facebook, for example. These companies are moving into places like Africa because the hopes and aspirations of the people who live there. Again, the days of investing, and I cannot hammer this point home enough, the days of investing by geography are long gone. You got to focus on the companies that are dealing with the hopes and aspirations of the people living in the world, in the sections of the world where they've got the hopes and aspirations that you and I have every day. We have washing machines, we have electricity. People who live in parts of the world that don't have those things right now, they want them because they want a higher quality of life. And that's why you focus on the next billion. But again, this is a very hard lesson. It's probably something that's going to get me uninvited from every cocktail party on Wall Street for the next 1,000 years. But your idea of passive investing, of indexing, of simply buying a fund, that is disappearing. That is no longer as relevant as it used to be. And people get very, very uncomfortable when I talk to them about that. But let me explain with an example that should hammer this home. I'm not saying all funds are bad. what I'm saying is that particularly when it comes to global markets and finding income, finding stable appreciation, finding outrageous profit potential, if you're buying a fund, you're actually probably going to